Hey, what's up, gentlemen and ladies? So anytime that I talk about Square Enix and basically who is working on what and how they're handling games in terms of teams, the different business divisions always come up, and I usually get comments of people asking like what they really are and who is working on which game. I thought I'd make this video once and for all to sort of explain what's going on with all the staff and teams internally at Square Enix so you guys have some context when I talk about them in the future. Now, officially there's actually 10 different business divisions in Square Enix. It actually used to be higher, it used to be 12, but they changed it to 10 sometime last year. However, the latter half are not really too important, at least not when it comes to the side of Square Enix that I usually focus on this channel, which is pretty much Final Fantasy, but just so I don't get any comments complaining that I didn't mention them. Business Division 6 is essentially the continuation of Enix, or Enix, still not sure how you're supposed to say it. They almost exclusively work on the Dragon Quest series. Business Division 7 handles just about everything else, like Star Ocean, Drakengard, you name it. Although not near Automata, because that was outsourced to Platinum Games. Business Division 8 handles Final Fantasy mobile titles, 9 handles browser games, yes, including Kingdom Hearts Key, and 10 handles every mobile title that isn't Final Fantasy. So yeah, nothing really too exciting in these last 5. The first 5, however, I'm really gonna go in depth with though, so I guess let's get started with Business Division 1. Now, the reason they're number 1 is because they are the main Square Enix team. These are the people who worked on Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy 13, and now they're working on the Final Fantasy VII remake. They're basically like the turn-based Final Fantasy team, and they're led by Yoshinori Kitase, who directed the original Final Fantasy VII and is coming back as a producer for the remake. And it also includes people like Motomo Toriyama, who was a writer for Final Fantasy X and directed the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy. Now, if Business Division 1 is the turn-based Final Fantasy team, then Business Division 2 is definitely the action Final Fantasy team. This team basically came along after a merger of what most people traditionally called the Nomura team, who had worked on Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, and the Tabata team, who had worked on Crisis Core and Type 0. I guess they figured that they would just get the two teams that made their most successful action games and combine them for Final Fantasy 15, which is what the team is currently working on, even though the game came out like over a year ago at this point. The head of this division is Hajime Tabata, since Nomura kind of has his own thing going on now. Basically, since Nomura is working on so many different projects, he isn't officially considered staff of any of the teams, but most of the time he jumps back and forth between Business Divisions 1 and 3. Now, Business Division 3 is the new name for what some of you guys might know as the Osaka team, so called because they were located in Osaka, Japan. I know, shocker. So there was the Tokyo team and the Osaka team. Now, the Osaka team began working with the portable Kingdom Hearts titles like Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance, and they very quickly became basically the Kingdom Hearts team. Of course, now they're working on Kingdom Hearts 3. Although, it is worth pointing out once again that this is not what people called the Nomura team from Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. They're part of the Final Fantasy 15 team now. Osaka came like way later. But anyways, key people in this team include Tai Yasue, who basically took over for Nomura when he was too busy with Final Fantasy Versus 13, and they are led by Shinji Hashimoto, who is the main producer and brand manager for both Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy. Now, Business Division 4 can best be described as the Final Fantasy spin-off team. They worked on things like Theater Rhythm and Dissidia, although they didn't work on the new Dissidia that was outsourced to Team Ninja from Koei Tecmo. And finally, Business Division 5 is led by Naoki Yoshida, which should pretty much give away the fact that this is their online or MMO team. This division was made up of the people who worked on Final Fantasy XI back in the day, and nowadays focus pretty much exclusively on Final Fantasy 14 and all the new content that we get for that game. So to recap all of that: 1. Turn-based Final Fantasy team working on the FF7 remake. 2. Action Final Fantasy team working on FF15. 3. Kingdom Hearts team working on KH3. 4. Spin-off Final Fantasy team. 5. Online team working on FF14. 6. Dragon Quest team. 7. Miscellaneous team. 8. Final Fantasy mobile team. 9. Online browser team. And 10. Miscellaneous mobile team. Now, the changes for all of these actually came along with Square Enix's current president, Yosuke Matsuda, and they've been in place since about 2013, because prior to this, every game was just credited as Square Enix. Like, the only way to really know who was working on what or who had experience with which games was either the little that we got from interviews, or actually physically comparing the staff listed on the credits of games. I mentioned earlier the Osaka team and Tokyo team, but it really was more like the Tokyo teams, plural. There was about 5 of them. People would get moved around back and forth all the time. It was not really very well organized, so I'm kind of glad that they decided to set actual teams and proper staff for each individual game. And honestly, I'm kind of glad that I made this video because I had a hard time sometimes trying to figure out who was where and working on which games. I hope this cleared up a lot of what's going on internally with Square Enix for you guys. Let me know if this was helpful at all in the comments. Not really my usual kind of video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it regardless. But either way, I guess that is all that I have for you guys today. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to blitz that like button, subscribe, and as always, stay tuned, Kupo.